All right, Unit 2C, Section 1, Classifying Triangles. So triangles can be classified by their sides and their angles, and that's what we're going to do here. We're going to talk about their angles and their sides. So whenever we talk about their angles, we know that their angles add up to 180 degrees, right? That's something that we should know. The angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. We have three types of triangles within the angles. We have acute, obtuse, and right. Okay, sometimes I will use that symbol for the right? It kind of looks like a right angle. An acute triangle, all angles are acute. All angles are acute. Okay, all four, or all three, excuse me. And then for an obtuse triangle, one angle is obtuse. Right? And just to remind us, what does acute and obtuse mean? Acute means an angle less than 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is bigger than 90 degrees. And then a right angle we know is equal to 90 degrees. So a right triangle, one angle is right. Okay, so acute, all three angles are acute. Obtuse, one angle is obtuse, the other two are acute. And then right, one angle is right, and the other two are acute. For our sides, we have three categories here as well. We have equilateral, isosceles, and scalene. For equilateral, think of the word equals. Equilateral equals. All sides are congruent. All three sides are congruent, right? And that's the congruent symbol. Congruent is like the geometry version of equals, right? They're the same. For isosceles, we say that two sides, you know what, I'm going to use the number 2. Two sides are congruent. And then scalene, no sides congruent. All right. So whenever we have a triangle, think about what if we had this triangle here? We had a right angle. We'll say the legs of the triangle are equal, and then our hypotenuse would have to be a different length. This would be an right isosceles triangle, a right isosceles triangle. It's right because it has a right angle, and then it's isosceles because two of the sides are congruent. All right, some neat factoids about this. An equilateral triangle has to be an acute triangle, right? An equilateral triangle has 60-degree angles. All right, that's just kind of a factoid there. Isosceles triangles, two sides are congruent. It also has two congruent angles. Okay, equilateral, all three are congruent. And then scalene, we could say no congruent angles. All right, we won't need those for our homework today, but that's just some neat factoids about them. So number 2, first off, we're going to look at their angles, and then we're going to look at their sides. So we have 73, 60, and 47. All three of those are less than 90, so this is going to be an acute triangle, A-C-U-T-E. An acute triangle, and then now we look at their sides. We have 2.3, 2.7, and 3. None of them are equal, so this is going to be scalene. Okay, so we'd say this is an acute scalene triangle. So there's our label. Number 3, looking at our angles, I have a 23-degree angle, a 134-degree angle, and then another 23-degree angle. That 134 is bigger than 90, so this is going to be obtuse. Now looking at the sides, we have a 2.4 and another 2.4. So this is going to be an obtuse isosceles triangle. Notice that these two angles are also congruent. Number 4, we look at our angles and we have a 90-degree angle. That means that this angle right here is a 90-degree angle, so this is going to be a right triangle. Looking at the sides, we have 3.6, 4.4, 5.7. They're all different, so this is going to be a right scalene triangle. Number 5, that 120-degree angle is obtuse. And then looking at the sides, all three of them are different, so this is going to be scalene. Number 6, we have a 90-degree angle, so it's going to be right. And then all three sides are different, so this is going to be scalene. Number 7, all of our angles are less than 90 degrees, so this is going to be, what is this going to be? This is going to be isosceles. Oh, excuse me. I was talking about the angles. It is isosceles, but for starters, we say that it's acute. And then we can say it's isosceles. So it's acute because all three angles are less than 90, and then it's isosceles because this side and this side are congruent. All right, number 8. That 100 degrees makes it obtuse. And then this side and this side being congruent makes it isosceles. Number 9, we have a 90-degree angle, so this is going to be a right triangle. And then all three sides are different, so it will be scalene. All right, that's that. Now, I never had an equilateral triangle on here, and just to draw one, I think this will let me draw a really pretty one. Ooh, apparently it draws a really huge one. I don't want that. It'll look something along the lines of this, where all three sides are equal. So maybe they're going to be like 5, 5, and 5. And the angles here will be 60 degrees, 60 degrees, and 60 degrees. They're all 60 because all three angles are congruent, and 180 divided by 3, right? Because there's 180 degrees total, and 3 equal angles gives me 60 degrees for each angle, right? So this would be an equilateral, actually be an acute equilateral triangle, all right? We didn't have one on the notes, but I just want you to be able to see that. All right, that's all.